Welcome to Business Reporter's Best of Global Business campaign. Travellers' expectations are changing as they demand easy access to more services, personalised travel offers and a seamless door-to-door experience. But airlines have been through a lot in the last couple of years. COVID, inflation, wars and recession. Growing revenues and expanding their network are top priorities, and one way to do that is to rely on efficient and sustainable partnerships with different types of carriers. But the technology to do this is outdated, cumbersome, and often fails to offer the customer experience that passengers demand. So, what if there's a major disruption in the legacy world to overcome this? That's what we'll be talking about with David Gunnison from Dohop. David, welcome to the Business Reporter.
Thank you.
Let's start with really getting to grips with what Dohop actually does and you showing us how it works. Absolutely.
So Dohop is a tech company at heart. And I'd say at the core of our business, kind of our why and why we're doing this is, we want to drive innovation in the travel industry in order to improve the customer experience. And that's really what drives us and what pushes us in the development of these partnerships that we power for airlines.
So you're implying that they're not quite there yet and there's a requirement for your services. So what's wrong with travel connectivity, for example, at the moment, and what problems are you trying to solve?
Mm-hmm. So you'd have to kind of split the world into two. So traditional airlines, there's not much wrong with travel connectivity there, but they can only sort of connect among themselves. Their connectivity amongst themselves is fine, but if they want to bridge into the other part of the aviation world, which is low-cost carriers, they don't have a way to do that unless it's through somebody like us. Now, on the low-cost side of the world, low-cost carriers started to come about at the dawn of the internet and never really had any connectivity. So they only flew from A to B and not via sea. But we do that as well. So we provide that kind of connectivity for the low-cost carriers in order to help them expand their network, serve more customers. And then we bridge that gap between the traditional world and then into the airlines of new, and we build that bridge between them so that they are able to run and have these partnerships that they otherwise wouldn't have.
So I'm sure that there are other bridge builders, as you put it. Why would those industries or the airlines come to you?
Well, they come to us for various reasons, but it goes back to our core of kind of wanting to drive innovation, really, and being let's say, a rather young and up-and-coming company, and we are solutions-oriented. We pride ourselves in being easy to work with, and the airlines tell us that. That's the feedback that they give us. Easy to work with, we move quickly, etc. So we bring a bit of that entrepreneurial spirit into their businesses.
I suppose it's about taking control, isn't it, for those airlines?
We want to enable the airlines to have control over the partnerships that they build, because we believe, fundamentally as a business, we believe that people care about the airlines that they fly with. So we want to enable those airlines to build these kinds of partnerships and have full control over them and over what they're offering in the market, and then of course have a direct relationship with their customers. And the importance of that direct relationship is pretty significant. Allowing the airlines to have control and allowing the airlines to have a direct relationship with their customers, that's kind of at the core of what we do.
I'm interested to know if this will benefit the customers as well.
Oh, absolutely. It really, and the way that it benefits the customers is they are able to choose from options, like all of the options at their disposal. So if you think of, back to my previous example of traditional airlines partnering, which is fine, and then low-cost carriers, and those two nobody building the bridge between those two worlds, you as a customer, you don't really see those kinds of options that we then create. So take EasyJet, for example, in their world previously, prior to Dohop, prior to us starting to work with them in 2017, you could fly on EasyJet only A to B. Now, we come into the picture, you can fly anywhere in their network in one stop, right? So A to B via C, which wouldn't have been an option before. So you'd have to choose something else, or there would have been no option.
It's interesting, isn't it, how travellers' needs are changing all the time. How does Dohop help in terms of that ever-changing attitude and culture of the traveller?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So when we started out doing this, we started working with primarily air-to-air connectivity, so two connecting flights. But then what's happening, for example, today, and kind of the demand from the customer base is, and from people in general, you get things like sustainability.
And what kind of response are you getting from some of these new ideas and new ways of travelling?
Well, we see a lot of interest from the airlines that we work with, and they in turn see a lot of interest from their customers, because you have let's say certain groups of people who are very keen on sort of environmentally friendly travel and on having, let's say, all of the options at their disposal. So I think we'll see more and more of this.
So if we come back to Dohop, what does the future look like in terms of partnerships and connectivity?
Well, we want to build a marketplace for partnerships. So the future is basically a marketplace where any airline or any transport provider, in fact, rail, bus, or you name it, can walk into a marketplace and partner with anybody else that they'd like to. They can either find a partner to sell that kind of connectivity on their own websites and in their own markets, or they can offer their own flights or their own rail journeys to be sold by any of the partners in the marketplace. So that's kind of the direction of travel, certainly in aviation. Airlines becoming more retail-oriented than they are today, and thus taking for full benefit from a partnership marketplace like that. And we want to support that direction of travel.
That was David Gunnarsson from Dohop.